tell you it's a home-based business. I watched the second, I don't know why I had to watch the second time, I was just curious. I got to see that again. You know, it's obviously easier to start a home-based business. Here's my beautiful children. That's Reese and Gabby, 11 years old and 8 years old, and I love them even more now because they are now tax deductions ×2. I'll talk about that in just a second. So obviously it's easier to give birth to a home-based business than it is kids, but guess what? They are very similar but different. Because how many people here have kids? Raise your hand. You're currently writing them off on your taxes, right? Are you scared to? No, it's illegal, right? You're not scared to take that deduction. Don't be scared to take deductions that are legally owed to you by law, which is your home-based business deductions. Because a dependent is not a human. It's anything that is dependent upon your income to survive. Does your home business need your income to survive? Yes, it does. So it is now tax deductible. Now here's the critical part. For about every $3,600 in deductions that you have from your business, you can increase your W-4 by 1. You can keep that money now. If you have a big check at the end of the year, that is the worst thing happening to you right now. The worst thing that's happening to you is that big check at the end of the year. You know why? You gave Uncle Sam an interest-free loan all year long. He used your money how he wanted to and done what he wanted to do with it and gave you back about this much and you gave him this much. You should be sick to your stomach. The best thing you can do is either zero out your taxes or owe just a little bit. You know why? Because you actually paid the perfect amount of tax that you were owed by law. Now, if you have a home-based business and you increase your W-4 anywhere between, depending on single, married, everybody's situation is different, you can Google W-4 calculator. W-4 calculator. You can go to irs.gov. It has a W-4 calculator right there. You can punch in your exemptions and your dependents and what you should be increasing every single week. Because if you increase your W-4, it's like keeping more money every single week. But don't give Uncle Sam the interest-free loan every single year, folks. That's what you're doing. If you're claiming 0 or 1 on your W-4, you are giving Uncle Sam extra money every single week. Okay? How many people here has ever seen big money? That's a big $100 bill that you're giving away every single week, at least minimum, to Uncle Sam. And here's basically how that works. When you change your W-4, so here's how it works. Are you paying more than $3,600 a year for your car? Yes. Yes, there's another, you can go from 0 to 1. Are you paying more than $3,600 a year for your house or your mortgage? Yes. Are you paying more than $3,600 a year for your business? Yes. Are you paying more than $3,600 a year normally for your internet communications and cell phone? Yes. So there's 3 or 4. So if you were claiming 0 on your W-4 and you also want to count the human beings, I went from claiming 0 to 9 on my W-4. I received a $612 increase in my take-home pay every single month. Guess what I used that money for? To run and operate my business. Now, a lot of people say, Brian, if you claim 9 W-4, you're crazy. You're going to owe money at the end of the year. Yes, if you don't have a home-based business and document your taxes, then yes, you would owe money. But what is 600 times 12? That's $7,200. So I, in essence, got a $7,200 return. The first year in my business, I lost money with my expenses. I got an extra $2,000 back. So I received a $9,000 tax swing because of a home-based business when I was getting about a $4,000 check that I was excited about, which was bad. So you've got to understand that when you increase that, you can use the money now. So if somebody says, Brian, I can't afford this business, this is what you can show them. They can increase their W-4 exemptions from their HR department, wherever they work. They can save that money for a week or two, and they can come in this business using their tax money. Guess what else is coming up? Tax returns. If somebody says, I can't afford the business, say, if money wasn't an issue, would you join? If money wasn't an issue, would you join? Write that question down. If money wasn't an issue, would you join? That is a huge closing question. You say, you know what? You got your taxes coming up, right? Yep, there you go. Welcome aboard. So you can understand that you can show people how to come in this business. So when you understand the average increase in take-home pay is $300 to $500 a month, if you don't recruit a person, sign up anybody else, your first month you paid $560, you got $300 back on your take-home pay. Your second month will say about $150 in products, and you got products, and there's $300 a month will stand. You add all of that up, in 6 months you've saved $1,300, right? Your expenses are $1,300, and you brought your tax money home of $1,800. It costs you money not to have a home-based business. This is, in essence, one of the key secrets, if you will, to getting your tax money now when you need it. Who do you know that needs an extra $300 to $500 a month right now? It's sitting right there in their paycheck, folks. It's sitting right there in their paycheck, and you have an obligation to show them this. For those that are in corporate America that say, Bryan, I can't afford to come on board this business, I can show you how to ask them this question. If I could show you how Uncle Sam would pay for the cost of your business, would you join? If I could show you how Uncle Sam would pay for the cost of your business, would you join? You think I've said that a few times? A few. That is one of the key strategies to recruiting and showing people the power of a home-based business. So your $500 to the good, plus the savings at the grocery store, everything else, folks, this is genius. Kids are expensive, right? How would you like to pay your kids to work for you? When your kids are over the age of 7, do you have them do things like chores, take out the trash, do all that stuff? Guess what? We don't have chores at our house. That's corporate America. Do a job, get paid. My child owns a waste management business. True story, he gets paid $2 every time he takes out the trash and he beats me to it. Without me reminding him, he has to document it on a calendar to keep track of it, and he had the choice. I used to pay him $10 a week. I was like, I'm going to show you the difference between corporate America and being an entrepreneur. I'm going to pay you $10 a week to take out the trash every single day, and I'm going to remind you to do it, and if you don't do it, I'm going to be really mad. I'm going to get this look on my face, just like a boss would in corporate America if you don't do your job, because I'm paying you to do that job, right? And he just didn't really like that because he kept forgetting a lot. He's 11, right? He kept forgetting a lot. Oh, Dad's mad at me again. I forgot the trash. I was like, well, son, as an entrepreneur, if you started a waste management business, you know what? I'll pay you $2 every time you take out the trash. Trash goes out about once a day, right? So that's 7 days a week times 2. That's $14. So, Reese, you have an opportunity to earn $14 a week by being an entrepreneur. Now, I'm not going to remind you. And you have to keep track of it on your calendar and mark it down. And at the end of the week, you've got to come to me and tell me how many little marks you got. He's like, that's cool, Dad, I'll do it. I'll do it. Now remember, if I have to remind you or I beat you to it, then you don't get that $2 because I'm going to take it out. He's like, okay, Dad. First week, man, he was on it, right? Every day he got it out there, he made like $16, right? A couple times a day. And the next week, he was on it, still again. Well, about the third week, he got a little lazy, forgot about it a couple times, and then went down to like $12. And the next week, he got a little lazier, and I kept beating him to it. He went down to like $6. And then it kept averaging about $6 to $8 because he was forgetting every 2 or 3 days. He'd come back to me and said, Dad, I think I want to go back that other way. Just giving me 10. We were just kind of doing it together. And, you got mad at me. I was okay with it after a while because it was just the same thing. And he said, I don't want to go back to that 10 thing. I was like, son, so let me ask you a question. So you're willing to tell me you're willing to make less money, get used to me hollering at you, just so you can be a little lazier in life? Is that what you're telling me? And he started figuring me out a little bit. He's like, well, I think I'll be an entrepreneur, Dad. I'll be an entrepreneur. And I was like, no, I want you to do it for the right reasons. And he started thinking about it. So the key is, folks, why don't we teach that in schools? Why isn't entrepreneurship teach? Why does it got to be, all these other ways? So that's a little tip from my parents and from me to you. And if you have any, I need them bad, okay? Trust me. But kids can absolutely be tax deductible. You can pay them that, give them a checking account, you can pay them money, they can use that money to buy things. You can actually make college education tax deductible, tuition, school clothes. Look at this. You ever believe you could write off tuition, school clothes, movies, sports, lessons, pizza, birthday presents? You ever believe you could write that off? You can pay your child to do chores, if you will, or duties in the house. If you owned a McDonald's, would you have a janitor? Does that janitor earn money from McDonald's? Well, guess what? If your kid is 8 years or higher and it's a reasonable deduction, guess what? It's reasonable. Can an 8-year-old sweep the floor? Yes, that's provable to the government. An 8-year-old can sweep the floor, right? Now you've got to document the payroll. You've got to write down your payment. You've got to write them a check, deposit it in their account, and guess what? They have money growing in their account. So when they need $10 to go to the movies, where does that money come from? Their account. You wrote it off on your taxes because they swept the floor. Guess what also a little 8-year-old girl can do? Label magazines. Guess what else an 8-year-old little girl can do? Put away products in the cabinet. You can find these duties. It's allowed by the government. Teach your kids good finances at an early age. Pay for all this stuff out of their account. And if you save about $5,700 a year for 10 years, that will pay for a college education. Think about it, folks. It's incredible. It's out there and you can do it. Business travel, we all know that one. 51% rule. You know what? The IRS says you can do business anywhere that it's reasonable. We can do business anywhere inside the United States and Canada. So if you want to actually, go to Hawaii and do business, guess what? 51% of the time you're there, it's tax deductible if you're working. So folks, you can get working capital right from what this slide talks about is there's working capital. If you need capital for your business, it's sitting right there in your paycheck. You've got to understand that you miss 100% of the shots that you never take, and you miss 100% of the tax deductions that you don't take and you do not document. Okay, and that's fine, double B. All right. Now, here's how I see it. Uncle Sam is going to pay you to start the business. He'll pay for the cost of the business. You've got to keep the documentation. You can increase your take-home pay from your current job $300 to $500 a month. It's like finding an extra $100 bill on your nightstand every single week. If you document, do all that stuff, keep track of your records, and you can Google can find you anything. If you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got. My definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Learn to spend your 2 minutes a day. Thank you, 6 people. Learn to spend your 2 minutes a day. I love those 6 people. I'll take them with me as my traveling audience. Oh. Okay, everybody claps. I'm a little sorry for me. So, do you want to save money on your taxes? Yes! Are you willing to spend 2 minutes a day for an average of an extra $500 a month? Yes! Are you willing to teach other people about it? Yes! Do you want your business to make a profit? Yes! Then, folks, absolutely, you qualify to answer yes to any of those questions. If you are a basic distributor, you need to upgrade to an ESS. I'm not going to have you raise your hand, but 40% of this room, according to the company statistics, is a basic distributor, and this is a room full of leaders, so it's probably 20%. So for 20% of the room, you need to upgrade to the ESS, and you can do it in 3 to 4 weeks. And if you need to learn how to use this recruiting and get yourself from the basic to the ESS, and then obviously you got to have samples of your business. Can you build a bigger business with or without samples? With. Are we sure? Can you build your business better with or without samples? With. There you go. This is what I call the ViSalus stimulus package. So they have your stimulus package. The president, come out all this for $500 a month and this, and do all that, and that's kind of like, what are you going to do with that $500? They probably go to Walmart and walk around like Eric and spend. But we can show you the ViSalus stimulus package. Okay, now pay very close attention. This is kind of my story. Here's you, the little buy guy or buy gal. Okay? Now here's you and your money. What do you normally do with your money? About $500. Well, you give a little to Walmart, Mickey D's, Starbucks, the grocery store, and you just give them a little here, you give them a little there, and you're just $500 just goes away, and you give it to all these stores. You don't really know that there's absolutely nothing that comes back to you, but you do get a little more of you. Put that in there. You spend your money for that, you get a little more of you. That's about all you get in return, right? A little more of you love, okay? Let me show you the ViSalus economy, right? The ViSalus economy. Well, here's you and your other $500, and you funnel it through ViSalus. You're a business owner for around $500. You have an average increase in take-home pay of $400. So there's an extra $400 right in your pocket. And then, you know what? You're saving all this money through Uncle Sam, and you're just going to continue to funnel this money through ViSalus. There's your mileage. That's like, there's your money spent. Look, you spend money, and it comes right back to you. You spend money, it's like $100 overnight. It comes right back to you. Here it comes. I mean, it just keeps coming. Folks, that's what it's like when you spend money through ViSalus. You get products. You save money at the grocery store. You get money back on your mileage and your taxes. Is this making sense to anybody? I mean, this is real stuff. Real stuff. How many $100 bills did I do? I feel like the copy and paste stuff, but you know what? What happens is you get a little less of you. See this little guy? That's what happened to me. I went from here to here to there. That's what's happening all across the country. You know what? This is the thing. Let me back up here. This is big important. Is there any questions? See, because this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Is there any questions? Seriously. And they're shutting me off. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. Hopefully you learned something.